Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Lecture number 4, part number 2. The unit is matrices and determinant, unit number 2 of the textbook, first year course. Now the topic of this video lecture is operations on matrices. We will discuss only multiplication of matrices. This is multiplication is also one of the operations on matrices. So in previous video lecture we discussed these points, mean these are the contents which we discussed in a previous video lecture. Now in this video lecture we will discuss the multiplication of matrices. When matrices having higher orders, so their multiplications are little complicated, so that's why I making a separate video for the multiplication of matrices. Okay, multiplication of matrices. Multiplication of matrices. Let us consider two matrices. Let's say first matrix is denoted by capital letter A and having elements of the form Aij, and the order of this matrix is m by p, mean this matrix has m rows and p columns. The order of this matrix is m by p. This matrix is written in the journal form. And considering another matrix which is denoted by capital letter B and their elements are of the form Bij, and the order of this matrix is p by n. So here in matrix B the number of rows are phi, so these are the rows, and in matrix B the number of the columns are n. There are n columns and p rows. Okay, now conformability condition for the multiplication of two matrices. What is the condition that two matrices are said to be conformable for multiplication? Conformable for multiplication. Condition for conformability of two matrices: when two matrices are said to be conformable for multiplication, mean when two matrices can be multiplied, when their product is possible. What is the condition? So the condition is if you are multiplying A with B, so this is your first matrix, and this is your second matrix. So this multiplication is possible, this product is possible if the number of the columns are first matrix. So here in this product the first matrix is matrix A. So this product you can find A multiplied by B if the number of columns of first matrix. So here first matrix is matrix A equal to the number of rows of second matrix which is matrix B. So this is the condition. Two matrices are said to be conformable for multiplication if the number of the columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of the rows of the second matrix. So in this product you see that A is the first matrix, so that's why I say that the number of the column in matrix A is equal to the number of the columns in matrix B, then this product is possible. Then you can find out the product. So here you see that the number of the columns in the first, let's say you are finding A multiplied B. So here you see that this is your first matrix that you consider in a journal form having order m by p. So the number of the columns in the first matrix are p. There are p columns. And the second matrix is B in the journal form having order p by n. So the number of the rows in the second matrix is p. So you see that the number of the columns in first matrix are p and the number of the rows in the second matrix are p. You see that the number of the columns in this matrix are p and the number of the rows in this matrix are p. So this is the condition for the multiplications of two matrices. So now in this case these two matrices are conformable for multiplication. Now from multiplication you get another matrix C. This multiplication is now possible because the number of the columns in the first matrix are p and the number of the rows in the second matrix are p. So the multiplication is possible. So when you do the multiplication you will get another matrix, let's say C. So what will be the order of that matrix? The order of that matrix the order of C means how many rows and how many columns will be there in matrix C, which is actually comes from the product of A and B. So how you can find without doing the product that what will be the order of this matrix? So this matrix which comes from the product of these two matrices will have those number of rows which the first matrix has. So here the number of rows will be m because the first matrix A has m rows and this matrix has those number of columns which the second matrix has. So here the second matrix has n number of columns. So the order of this matrix is m by n. So you see that the order of the matrix A is m by p and the order of the matrix B is p by n. So the product is possible because the number of columns in this matrix is equal to the number of the rows in the second matrix. So this product is possible. So when you do the product you will get another matrix C. So its order, how you can determine the order of this matrix. So the order of this matrix means how many rows will be there and how many columns will be there. So the rows of the resultant matrix which comes from the multiplication has equal number of rows as the first matrix has. So here the first matrix has m rows and the number of the columns of the resultant matrix which come from the multiplication of these two matrices will have the equal number of rows of a matrix B. So here the number of the columns will be n. So that's how you can calculate the order of the resultant matrix which is obtained from the multiplication of two matrices. Now how you can multiply, we can discuss it now. This is the now how we can multiply, what will be the procedure for multiplication. So I am considering two matrices in journal form, and then I will also consider a specific example. Let's say a matrix A is A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23. This is a matrix of order 2 by 3. So in this matrix, in matrix A, the number of columns are 3. And consider the second matrix. B11, B12, B13. This is the second matrix. Now let's say B21, B22, B23, B31, B32, B33. So the order of this matrix is 3 by 3. So if you are finding A product with B, when you are multiplying A with B, your A is the first matrix in the multiplication and B is your second matrix. So you will see to the columns of this matrix and the rows of this matrix. So here the number of rows in this matrix are 3. So the number of columns in first matrix is equal to the number of rows in second matrix. So now this multiplication is possible. How you can multiply? Now we will discuss that. So this is matrix A, A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23. And the second matrix which you are multiplying with this one is B11, B12, B13, B21, B22, B23, B31, B32, B33. So this multiplication is possible because here the number of columns are 3 and here the number of rows are 3. So when the number of the columns of the first matrix are equal to the number of the rows of the second matrix, then multiplication is possible. Let's say from this multiplication you get another matrix C. So what will be the order of that matrix? The order of that matrix will be determinant by taking the number of rows of the first column and the number of the columns of the second matrix, the number of the rows of the first matrix and the number of the columns of the second matrix. So let's say from the multiplication of these two matrices you get a matrix C. So its order will be determinant by taking the number of rows of the first matrix and the number of the columns of the second matrix. So here are 2 rows and here are 3 columns. So the order of a matrix which will be obtained from the multiplication of these two matrices having order 2 by 3, and that is, let's say, C11, C12, C13, C21, C22, C23. So this is a matrix of order 2 by 3. So how you can get this C11, how you can get this C12, how you can get this C13, how you can get this C21, how you can get this C22, and how you can get this C23. How you can get, what is the procedure now for the multiplication? Up to now we discussed just the condition that when two matrices are said to be conformable for multiplication, and what will be the order of the matrix which you get from the multiplication. So we discussed that up to now. Now our target will be how you can multiply two matrices. So you know that the resultant matrix which comes from the multiplication of these two matrices must have order in which the number of rows will be equal to the number of rows of the first matrix, and the number of the rows in the number of the columns in the resultant matrix will be equal to the number of the columns of the second matrix which is given in the product. Now how you can calculate the multiplication procedure is, when you are multiplying two matrices, now these are conformable for multiplication, so you will multiply the first row with the first column, then you will multiply that first row with the second column, then you multiply the first row with the third column, and if there is some other column, so you may need to multiply that first row with all the columns of the second matrix, and then when the columns are finished, then you take the second row and you need to multiply the second row with the number of the columns one by one of the second matrix. So how you can get this C11? C11 is actually comes from the sum of the product of corresponding elements of first matrix and first column, first row and first column. This C11 is actually comes from, you multiply this A11 with B11. The first step in multiplication to matrices, you multiply the first row with the first column. Now while you are multiplying the first row with first column, so you multiply the first element of the first row with the first element of the first column. You see that I am multiplying the first element of the first row with the first element of the first column. Then you will add, right, plus sign, and multiply the second element of the first row with the second element of the first column. Second element of the first row will multiply with the second element of the first column, and third element of the first row will be multiplied with the third element of the first column, and add these. So this is the sum of the product of corresponding elements of first row and first column. So this is how you can get this C11, and similarly you will get C12 in this fashion, and C13 in this fashion, and C21, C22 and C23 in this fashion. Now here the corresponding elements mean this is the first element of the first row that will be multiplied with the first element of the first column. This is the second element of the first row that will be multiplied with the second element of the first column. This is the third element of the first row, so this will be multiplied with the third element of the first column. This is correspondence mean in this case. And when this is finished, then you will multiply the first row with second column. So this first element of the first row will be multiplied with the first element of the second column, and then you will write plus, and then the second element of the first row will be multiplied with the second element of the second column, because now you are dealing with the first row and second column. And similarly you will multiply the third element of the first row with the third element of the second column, and then you will add these, and that addition will give you a single element which will be placed at a position first row and second column, because you are multiplying first row and second column. When you are multiplying first row and first column, so from this you get C11, so this C11 must be in the position of the resultant matrix having in first row and first column. Then if you are multiplying the first row with second column, so from that you get the element of the first row and second column. When you are multiplying the third row with third column, so you will get the element of the first row and third column. If you are multiplying the second row with first column, so you will get the element of the second row and first column. If you are multiplying the second row with second column, so you will get the element of the second row and second column. If you are multiplying the second row with third column, so you will get the element of the second row and third column. And this is the procedure. So this C11 is obtained from the sum of the product of corresponding elements of first row and first column. This C12 will be equal to, you may see it from here, this C12 will be A11 with multiplied with B12, then plus A12 will be multiplied with B22, plus A13 will be multiplied with B32. So this is, from here you can get this element, because here you are multiplying the first row with the second column, so you will get the element of the first row and second column. If you then you will multiply the first row with the third column, so you see that A11 will be multiplied with B13, plus A12 will be multiplied with B23, plus A13 will be multiplied with B33 plus. So from here you will get the element of the first row and third column, because you are multiplying first row with third column. Similarly, when you multiply second row with first column, you will get the element of the second row and first column. This is the element of the second row and first column. And how you can obtain this? You will multiply this A21 with B11, A22 with B21, A23 with B31, and add these, and you will add these. You will see it here. Similarly, if you multiply the how you can get this element, mean the element of the position second row and second column. So you will multiply the second row with the second column, second row with the second column. A21 will be multiplied B12, A21 will multiply B12, A22 will be multiplied with B22, A23 will be multiplied with B23. So you will get C22, and similarly C32 will be obtained by multiplying the second row and third column. So A21 will be multiplied with B13 addition, B22 will be multiplied with B23 addition, A23 will be multiplied with B23, and there will be addition. So you will get C23. So this is the element of the second row and third column, because this is obtained from the multiplication of the second row and third column. So this is the way of multiplying two matrices. First of all, you will check the condition for conformability. The condition for conformability is that the number of the rows, the number of the columns of the first matrix, if equal to the number of the rows of the second matrix, then both the matrices are conformable for multiplication, and the matrix which you obtain from the multiplication, the order of that matrix will be containing same number of rows as the first matrix has, and same number of the columns as the second matrix has. And how you can obtain the elements of that matrix? So this is the procedure. the sum of the product of the corresponding elements of the first row and first column. But here the corresponding elements mean you